Hey guys, Herald Dragons here once again. So today I thought I'd show you guys Legends of Runeterra. So if you guys are League of Legends players and you don't know, the League of Legends Riot Games has actually created more than one game at this point. And so since this channel is really going to be about League of Legends as a whole, I might even just call it Runeterra. I'm going to be doing everything across the whole League of Legends expanse. And so today I'm going to be showing you Legends of Runeterra. So Legends of Runeterra is Riot Games' card game. It's like a trading card game or a TCG, but an online version. There's actually quite a few of these just in general. But yeah, this is really cool because it uses the champions that are from that you see in League of Legends. And actually, this one has a lot more lore, which is just the story that's behind League of Legends in each of the different cards. So I'll show you a little bit about it. So, for instance, here's the page. Here's the front page. So actually, show you here. This is actually cool animation. They just came out with a new set, and so they only have a certain amount of the regions so far. And so instead of each one being instead of the sets of cards being from, say, like a certain color or something, and this one we have different regions, which are the regions that are in the Runeterra universe. So I'll show you a little about. So here we have the collection, and so here are my decks. So at the moment I've got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 decks. This one I'll take a deck 2, but it was just the first deck I ever made, and I decided to keep it because I thought it was cool. And these with exclamation marks means they don't have enough cards in them. So for those who are unaware, in a trading card game, or at least this one, you have 40 cards. You have to have exactly 40 cards in this deck. You can have no less or no more. And so in a card deck, each card costs a different amount. So here, I'll show you cards. For instance, here we have the costs of the cards: 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. And so during the game, you get a certain amount of mana, and that lets you. And so yeah, each turn you get a certain amount of gems or mana that lets you play cards, and you have to have enough to play the cards that are in your hand, which you draw from your deck. And each of the decks you can build yourself by collecting different cards. So for instance, here we have the different regions. So Bilgewater, Demacia, Freljord, Ionia, Shurima, Shadow Isles, Piltover and Zaun, Noxus, and Targon. So there are different rankings. So we have, for instance, we have commons. Commons are denominated by this little green thing here. And then we've got, I do believe they're called uncommons. And those are here with the blue. And then we've got the epic cards, which, let me find some. Where's an epic card? Epic cards are purple. Here's one. So we've got purple, and then the top cards, which are actually in this case just champions. Yeah, here we have orange. I mean yellow. I actually call them orange because for the most part the cards are orange. And those are actually just champions, and those are technically the strongest cards in the game. And these are the champions from League of Legends, and so you usually build a deck around one of these champions. So maybe I can explain. I think really in this one I'm going to just explain how you can make a deck. Like, in my opinion, what's the best way to make a deck. And so in my opinion, when you want to go make a deck, you can look up deck lists that make you with the strongest decks and stuff at the time. But in my opinion, one of the most fun parts about this game actually, and about card games, is being able to create your own deck and express your ability to make an interesting deck. So for instance, let's go with probably spiders is my strongest deck. So I'll show you around my spider deck. So if you click Egg Deck, you can see these are all the cards that are in my deck. They tell me how many I have of it in my deck. You can only have up to 3 of any card. And then this is the cost. Let's see what else can I tell you guys. So here's the amount of you can also only have cards from either 1 or 2 of the regions. You cannot have 3 or more regions in one deck. This is just so that it's kind of limits some of the powers of some deck, but it's also useful in that way as well. And here you can put the name of whatever deck, in this case spiders, because that's what the deck is centered around. I want to make a lot of spiders. So the champion that I'm basing it around is this card, Elise. So she only costs 2, she's a 2/3. And her big ability is that she can summon more spiderlings, which are these 1/1 creatures. And if you've ever played a game like this, this is your attack and this is your defense on a creature card. And so champions can level up and you become stronger and they flip. Those are the only cards in the game that do this. And so in her case, you have to have 3 other spiders besides herself on the field at the start of a round, and she'll transform. And this is the biggest reason why when you want to build a lot of spiders is because they get these abilities. And so this ability here, Fearsome, one of the coolest things about Legends of Runeterra is that it really shows you, it really tells you all you need to know practically about every single card, and so it's much easier to get into the game. The only thing you might have to learn some about how the game works, but they're actually challenges, which I can show you really fast. I'll just hop out of this. Here under play, they're actually these challenges, and these challenges help you learn how to play the game. They explain a bunch of different abilities and also just how to play the game in general. I've played through all of them just to learn a little bit more, but that'd be super useful for any of you guys who've never actually played and you want to get the game. Also, just like League of Legends, this game is completely free, and you can actually use the same exact account that you have for League of Legends because it's a Riot account and therefore goes across all the games that Riot Games has created. So let's go back into my deck. And so, as I was saying, the amazing part about this is that when she's flipped, she gives all her other spiders Challenger and Fearsome. And this is amazing because Fearsome makes it so you can't be blocked by enemies with 3 or more power. It can only be blocked, so that means that if the opponent has a creature that has got 2, 1, or 0 power, which is just their attack, they can't be blocked. They can't block the creatures that I'm attacking with, that are the spiders that have Fearsome. And Challenger lets you choose who's actually going to block. So usually you attack, and then the opponent gets to choose which of their creatures blocks which of your creatures. In this case, you as the attacker get to choose which of their blockers choose which of your guys. So in the end, it makes your spiders much more difficult to block in general. And the whole idea of the deck is you can make as many spiders as you can. And so the spiders, the nice thing about spiders is most of them are pretty easy to create, and you can create a lot of them that are really small, but you just keep playing more and more and more and more spiders. Like whenever you kill, yours get killed, and you practically just overwhelm them with damage. And that's kind of the idea. For instance, here we've got, whenever one of my guys dies, I can create 2 more spiderlings. Oh, okay, that's another big thing here. So we've got creature cards and we've got spell cards. And so creature cards, you just cast them, and then they go into the battlefield. And they, like I said before, they have an attack and a defense. Spell cards, on the other hand, can be cast without... so they actually have different spell cards. So these they don't have a creature themselves, they do an effect. So in this case, this spell is a slow spell, and can only be cast when it's your turn. And can only be cast, and you can't cast in response to another spell. So for instance, if someone else casts a spell, most spells you can cast one in response. In this case, this one cannot be cast in response. So there's slow spells, and then there are fast spells. Let me find myself a fast spell. Fast spell, which is denominated by this, which means you can play it, and then the opponent has a chance to respond with their own spell. And then you've actually got instant spells. I do believe they call burst spells in this game. And those are cards you can play just as fast spells, but the opponent actually doesn't get a chance to respond. So those can be really, really strong. So really, the entire deck is built around, I went and found all the spiders that I thought were the strongest spiders, and cards that go along with spiders. And for the most part, every single card has to do with creating more and more spiders and making them stronger. So for instance, like you have here, whenever an ally dies, I get 2 spiderlings. When I cast this card, and it costs only 1, which is great. And then we've got this guy, who has an ability called Last Breath, which means this happens once he dies. So it's great to have this at the very start of the game, because you could block this guy with this guy, and you get another spider, which is perfect. And then we've got this spider, which is really useful at the start, because it's 2-1 for 1, which is great, and it has Fearsome. So at the very start of the game, your opponent won't have creatures that have 3 or more power, so he's very hard to block at the very start of the game. Then we've got Arachnid Horror, same kind of idea. And this is a great spell because, like I said before, it's a burst spell. So say you're attacking and they block with all these guys and they think your guys are going to... So for instance, say I'm attacking with my spiders, only a 2-1, but then they've got a 4-5. Or no, that's not good. 4-4. And so they think you're going to be able to block your guy and they're good to go. But then you can just cast this while you're attacking and you give them +2/+0, 2 more attack, and they'll be able to kill the other guy, because now they'll have 4 damage and be able to kill the guy with 4 health. Of course, I got Elise, my champion. We got House Spider, which creates another spiderling when you cast this card, which is great, more spiders. Here we've got Drain, which Drain is just you take 1 damage and then you heal your Nexus by 1 damage. And for those who don't know what a Nexus is, in this case that's your health. And in any card game, and most cards games at least, and this card game as well, you have 20 health. And so the main goal is to win by getting the opponent's deck down, their health down to 20. And most card games are like this, and for the most part that's usually how you win every game. There are a couple cards that let you win in different ways, but there aren't that many of them. So going on, we have Arachnoid Sentry. So this is another spider, and it's just useful because I can stun an opponent, but it's more useful just the fact that it's a spider. And this one's great too. You've got, when I play it, I get to get, all my guys get 1 more damage for this round, as well as the opponents get 1 less damage for this round. And we've got this card which works perfectly for this deck, because since my guys a lot of times are more just, the fact is that I'm attacking with more guys than they are, a lot of times my guys aren't as strong, and so if they have a really big guy, it can be a really big problem because I won't have a good way to kill them, because then my guys get very strong. And so this is a great card for that, because I can just attack with my guys. They block with their big guys just to destroy them and make sure they take less damage. And in the end, I'll be able to destroy their very big guys once they take a little bit of damage from my small guys. Also, the amazing thing about this card is that once you've played it, you get another one of this card right off the bat. And it's fleeting, which means it'll disappear at the end of the round, but as long as I have enough mana, I can cast this like 3 times in a row and kill 3 of their guys. And then these 2 cards are amazing. So this one, whenever it attacks, all my guys who are spiders, which are denominated by the little spider thing at the top, get more damage. And this stays. This is not for the round, so it's really nice. Same with this card. And this one gives all my guys +2/+0 when you play him. And this one's really nice later on, when you have some room where you allow your guys who died, and you could pull out 3 more spiders and give all you guys +1/+0. So like as you can see, usually when I try and make a deck, I usually find a champion that looks interesting. Obviously Elise here has to do with spiders, and then I found all the other cards that I think are the best that have to do with creating more spiders. And that's essentially how you make decks. You want to find a champion for the most part, and then make a deck around them based on the different abilities and such. So yeah, a little bit short, certainly a shorter video than last time, but I think it was good to go. And if you have any questions in the comments, either A, you are more interested to learn more about this game, that's because you haven't played it, or there are certain aspects you want me to go over in the game, or if you already play the game and there are certain things you want me to show you for this game specifically, that'd be great. Also, if you have any ideas for other League things that you want me to go over, I will try my best to go over them myself, but if you have one that you think you really want me to do, go ahead and just throw that down in the comments. And thanks for watching.